get everybody in the kit. There we go. Hey, this is Beau from BEAU'D Not Broken, and we are in a familiar spot. We're in Murray City Park in Utah, in the United States, and we're with an old friend, Traci, who we're going to talk to in just a minute. But I first wanted to just point out that BEAU'D Friday is for superhero shirts, but today I'm wearing my superhero shirt because this lady right here, she's second time on, but pretty amazing how she has, even in the last, when did we talk last? Just a couple months ago, right?
About 8 weeks.
About 8 weeks ago, and amazing stuff's been going on in her life, and that's why we're here. The other thing is www.beaudnotbroken.com. Please go to that to watch some of the older shows. You can watch her show. Very relevant. All those things are relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. The other thing is, you cannot imagine the amount of input and messages and effort that's being put into this suicide prevention effort that we're all a part of right now. We need to keep it up and continue to do it and go forward. Traci's been a big factor in that. A lot of people out there have been a big factor, but this is the Daily Bend on BEAU'D Not Broken, and we're going to talk to Traci today. Take us back to a couple months ago. We sat just a little ways away over here, and we talked about you and some of the challenges that you've had. Kind of recap that for those that might be coming in and seeing you for the first time.
Well, I'm a breast cancer survivor. It'll be 4 years, August 8th. And I was diagnosed at 27. I'm 31 now. And just even a couple months ago, of course, I'm an advocate. I love what I do. It's one of the best jobs on the planet that I could ever have, to reach out for people. I mean, I deal with suicide, I deal with health, I deal with, you know, whatever someone needs. You need a friend. It's kind of like what you do, but we have a different form of clients.
Yeah, mine's more general. We're trying to help everybody. We need specialists, people like you. So you've been sick before, and you've battled cancer, and you've seen people that have battled cancer, and that's something that, you know, now you take quite a passion in doing what you're doing. You have, after the last show, kind of take me through that. You had a lot of people that approached you that wanted to be, you know, with support groups and things like that.
I had over 50 people message me to ask about support groups they could join. I had one woman reach out to me that saw you all the way from the south in the United States, that it was on her last end. And if it wasn't for your random show she found on YouTube, she reached out to me, I don't know what would have happened. Now she's one of my good friends, and she's doing fabulous. And just for speaking up and saying, okay, what can I do? What little niche can I fill? That's awesome.
You also have, you know, you have your own, your husband is, you know, kind of involved in a lot of things too, but you're involved in a lot of different types of things. Tell us, you know, last time you told us about, you know, all the challenges and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about some of the people, you know, you've been able to help and kind of save in your support groups, and other than obviously the one that watched the show, but I mean, your daily, I kind of want people to know what you're doing, because I think it's really amazing how somebody can make a difference and really not realize how much they make a difference.
Well, I'll take about a group to 8 to 10 women that are just newly diagnosed, and I am a mentor. So I'll take them from their diagnosis date all the way. I just talked to one of my ladies today that's almost 2 years out from her diagnosis. And when you have someone that stepped up, so say you've had cancer before and you want to be a mentor, you can share with them the fears you had, and you feel a lot more normal on the patient side of it, because I can answer their questions. I can direct them towards adequate research, because we all know Facebook and the internet has some
its flaws. It has its flaws.
Yeah, let's just say there's no miracle cure for any type of disease.
Oh, you mean there's no evil spirits come out kind of a thing?
Yeah, there's no Oh, I get so many things.
You're watching the Daily Bend with Traci today, and we're talking about, she's been on before, and she was diagnosed and went through all the processes with her cancer, and now she's been helping a lot of other people with what, you know, their needs are from it amazes me, you know, from the time that someone is diagnosed and they find out they have it until, you know, the time they unfortunately die, or from the time they recuperate, they're better, they're well, they're living their life. It's just everybody's struggle is kind of the same, but it's not. And that's what you offer, is the ability for them to be individual in their own, but also understand that there's a lot of people out there that can help them, right?
Oh yeah, and the biggest thing is I have to take a step back and say, this isn't me. I'm not in their body, and sometimes I have to remember, just because their cancer came back, or that doesn't mean mine will.
Right.
But I have a friend that theirs came back 10 years later, but she's fighting, and just because it comes back doesn't mean your life's over.
Right. Right.
You'll see so many people that strive, and their life actually becomes more worthwhile after they have to fight, and they have more of an impact. I don't know, just never take anything for granted.
Right.
Never.
That, you know, on this show, BEAU'D Not Broken, we talk about adversities, and sometimes we talk about the wave of adversities that happen to people. Sometimes it just continues to happen, and we don't know why, but we try and, on this show, we try and equip people with connecting people that really can be connected together for a lot of time. It's not, this show really, you know, when you came on, I've seen a lot of networking with a lot of people that have been on the show in their separate types of things, but especially with you, it seems as though a lot of people identify with you, and that kind of leads me to my next topic. You're in the process of transforming your body and your mind, of course, too.
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about what's happened to you physically over the last several months, and especially, you know, here recently too.
Well, if you look at my video from before and after.
Yeah, I don't have that production value of before and after.
Go back and look at my video before and after, and look at what I look like now. I had a few family members die, and they had some really health issues, and I really wanted to take time and say, okay, enough excuses. I went through chemo. I had 2 kids shortly before I was diagnosed with cancer. I went through what they call chemopause after, which is chemo-induced menopause. I went through a hysterectomy. And then just my arm, my health got worse, and I put on weight like no other, and it was just time. I had a friend reach out to me after my doctor had said, got to get this under control. And
get the weight and the
because
stress.
My symptoms, I was getting so many other health issues because of the weight.
So you, just for a time frame, you were cancer free for how long before you said, oh my gosh?
It was about 3 years.
So 3 years from the time, oh my gosh, look at me now.
Because you don't have the energy. You're filled with fatigue and worry and stress and money problems, but when you realize it, those don't go away. That's life. And it took me a while for that. I know, seriously.
Being silly, they don't go away. No, that's what this is all about.
No,
they're not going to go away. We just got to learn how to deal with them.
But it's at the time that you figure out I had to become better, to be a better mom and a better wife and a better friend, and the weight was just dragging me down.
So what was the moment? Maybe, so it was last August, right? You kind of, where has it been?
Well, last September my aunt passed away.
Okay, and you thought or felt what?
Well, my mom said after she had passed away, she said, you know, the doctors really said, you know, as a family, you guys need to take care of yourselves.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know, I just found every excuse not to be healthy. And when she passed away, and then I realized, you know, I was falling asleep on the couch after I took my daughter to school, and then I'd take a nap when they took a nap, and I'd go to bed at like 8:30 when they went to bed, and I was always tired. And I felt like crap. Like, I have no, and I couldn't exercise. I could barely cook. I could barely.
Right.
The fatigue was just so bad, and the pounds just, and of course, yes, I didn't eat healthy, but I didn't eat a lot.
So
But
it was kind of that whole everything coming together.
loss and-
You were tired when you started this whole process.
Oh, yeah.
What got you off of your tuchus and basically, you know?
Well, I started a program called Isagenix from a friend. She lives in Canada. Her name is Kathy. And I went to my doctors with it and
Right.
said, here you go. That's the biggest thing. If you're on a bunch of medications, you have health issues, you got to consult your doctor.
Right.
Yes, they're not a nutritionist, but they know your body just as well as you do, and they can tell you, is this safe or is this not safe?
Right.
Because, of course, there's thousands of supplements out there. Look at your industry and what you do. You
Well,
probably know.
I'm not in that industry.
No, I know,
I'm
but
more of
you're-
a changing of behavior, but I know what you're talking about.
And a lot of them aren't regulated, and so.
What I mean is I
You're natural.
plead my people to learn how to change their behaviors when they cook and all those kinds of things. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So you're all of a sudden you find that, and what else? You find that there's something that can help you and boost you as far as in the food category, which is 95%.
Well, yeah, and
then-
it gave me the energy. I realized, okay, wait a sec, I can do this. About a month before, I had started to quit drinking soda. So once I started this program, I quit drinking soda completely.
Which is good.
It's been 2 months off without it completely today. It's been 2 months. And it's just slowly, it started happening. So I quit the soda. I started Isagenix. They promote whole food eating.
Right.
Not processed food.
Right.
And so then the sweet cravings stopped. And then I had more energy. And so then I have my mother-in-law who runs multiple marathons and works in the running industry. Like, talk about a motivation. She's dropped it gorgeous and she's almost 60. And so it was kind of those little people in my life that made that change. They, you know, I saw their examples and I said, wait a sec, I can do this too. And I mean, I've dropped 6 sizes so far, and the biggest thing I can say though too, don't step on the scale. Literally, you can get obsessed with a scale.
I'm a big I like people to stay away from the scale maybe once a week, but you know, and there's other trainers that like it differently, but no, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what you should be telling everybody, is because if you step on that scale every day, you're going to get disappointed
and sad.
You know?
And,
yeah.
oh my gosh, go with what makes you happy. Do you have that pair of gold pants in your closet you wore 6 years ago that you can't fit into?
Amen.
Or your wedding dress from 20 years ago?
Awesome.
I mean,
So you started at a certain weight. You don't have to reveal that, but how much have you lost now? Have you lost a lot within the last couple months?
Yeah, I've lost the equivalent of my son. That's almost 5 years
Wow.
old. If that tells you about a 5-year-old, how much he's lost.
Wow. Okay.
And so I mean, I went from a size 18 to a 6'8" within not even a year.
Wow.
I'm not quite there yet, but
no, but that's good weight loss. That's good timing. You're not quite there, but tell everybody. So you've been eating right. You've been eating right and learning how to change your behaviors. And what else? Because you're really, it's really cool to see her. You got to be a friend of hers on Facebook, because it's really kind of cool because she'll put up the comparisons. But the big thing is you started running, you started working out. I'll tell everybody a little bit about that.
Well, I work out at least 6 days a week, and sometimes I have a half an hour because my husband comes home for dinner during his work break. So I'll take whatever time I can do. So on those days I'll do work on speed, or I'll do weights. And then on the days he has off, I'll work on my distance, or I'll do yoga or cardio, or just kind of making that holistic kind of exercise. Because one thing I've learned, if you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to stick to it.
Right.
And there's all certain forms of exercise. Sometimes I do it with my kids, and I use my kids as the weights. and I can't get them to stop busting up laughing during it.
Right.
I mean, it's making it fun and enjoyable, because who wants to run if you hate running?
Right. There's so many other options, and
Yeah.
there's so many, you know, you can multiply it, and they're complements. Yoga is complementary to everything, and there's all kinds of things. So really, you know, the big reason I wanted to have you come on was, you know, we were talking about it coming out here to where we are, is that I've not had anybody on the show that, well, I've had a few people. I've had Mary Nichols on, who had cancer, but we really didn't talk about that transition. I think hearing you talk, I think you wish you had made that transition to nutrition and exercise a little bit quicker. Maybe talk about that.
I wish it would have been taught right out after I finished treatment.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of women and men out there that once you are done with treatment, they kind of say, see you later, see you in 3 months, see you in 6 months. And there's no guidance. There's no, well, yeah, you might, you know, gain some weight after treatment from the chemicals that are still left in your body.
Right.
Or from the stress, and that there's no instruction on what to do. And that's, to me, is kind of hard. In my group, I'm starting to bring more of that. Yes, I've always focused on the spiritual and the emotional side of it, but now it's time to start focusing on what's inside your body, not just your heart and your head.
So more of a, but it's funny. I can totally see forgetting about that and not understanding that is just as much, if not as important as everything else. Exercise and nutrition and things, especially for someone that has been, you know, shot full of chemo, and you know, you got all kinds of things in yourself. So are you kind of in your groups, are you kind of making out more of a, you know, you have your wheel of what you want to do? Has that become a big part of your wheel, your pie?
It's a huge one, and that my friend Jennifer is I think she's a friend of yours too, and that she lives in Ogden, and she's my co-founder of our groups. And it's a big thing because we both had the same struggles, and we're both going through the same struggles, and when one of us finds something that works, we want to tell everyone about it. Right. Whether if it's a makeup that's chemical free, or a sunscreen, or we like to share, because that's kind of how our world works now, is word of mouth. Sure.
And the power of social media, there really is a power. There is a power for good. I mean, it can be bad as well, but you're a great example of how social media is a good thing. Will you plug your groups that you're a part of? Because I think that would be, if there's somebody watching, it'd be great for them to know what groups you're involved in.
Well, they can send me a friend request, of course, and my name's Traci Brundage, or they can, I run all the triple negative breast cancer survivor groups. There's 4 of them. There's stage 4, a generic one, stage 3, and one for husbands. And I also do a breast cancer financial aid group. And then there's one that I just recently started called Healthy Mind, Soul, and Body. And that's a fun one because all of us are fitness oriented and want to help each other and lift each other up. And a lot of us have health issues, a lot of us don't. Some are professionals, some of us aren't. And I don't know, it's important, it's fun. It's fun to see the tips people put on there, and one thing I've noticed about all these groups, no one ever talks anyone down. It's always a lift up environment. It's always supportive. It's always we get enough negativity in our lives. We don't.
Well, what I've noticed from some of her groups too, is that, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's body's different, and you're going to react in certain ways. And what I like is you've got all these different, not opinions, but things that have worked for different people, and that's the beauty of it. You try it. And if it doesn't work, you try something else. But at least it's out there, and you all realize that not one shoe fits everybody, or one way of doing something. That's pretty important.
That's a big thing. There's a phrase out in the medical world: you never fail till you quit trying.
Yeah, that's true.
It's 100%.
We've had people on the band. This is the Daily Band that have basically done their own doctoring, or their wives have done their own doctoring. You know, Lindsay, who was on a few weeks ago, who, you know, went through I think it's ARPS.
Yeah.
He didn't even know they didn't even know what it was. You know, his wife just helped him and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, having come on a second time,
yeah.
Are there any things that you would want to say that you may have forgotten, or something that you're doing that you would want to help motivate somebody out there that really might be watching, but they're kind of going, you know, I'm a little bit afraid to step out of that comfort zone, or get a hold of you, or get a hold of someone for help?
Well, the biggest thing is you never know till you try. I tried hundreds of ways to take care of myself. I've been through hundreds of medical procedures. I've done so many things, and a big thing too is you never know what that one message, or that one phone call, or that one letter to a friend that came across your mind. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, you don't know if they're struggling through something that you might have been through, or have a relative that has, or you might have a long distance family member or friend that you could get them in contact with. So don't be afraid to speak up. And even though it may be embarrassing, I mean, hello, weight is embarrassing. I was embarrassed of being fat, and I can say it, I was fat. And I'm not skinny yet, but I asked for help.
Right.
And so I don't care if it's depression, anxiety, what you're working on, suicide, or your health, you found a lump on your breast, or other parts of your body. We're all human beings. We all have body parts, we all have minds, we all go through scary parts of our life. People are so afraid of judgment, but I found the majority of the world won't judge.
Yeah, the majority of the world is going through some of the same things that we're all going through. That's what's kind of funny about it.
Well, yeah, so people are so afraid, like, what's so-and-so going to think about me? It's like, most likely they've struggled with it too.
Right.
So why not ask?
Some people age out. Some people get to be my age and they don't care anymore. They don't care what people think about them anymore. But young people, especially, sometimes they have to fit in.
But I've seen a lot more
have to
with
fit
people
in.
your age too, though.
Well,
there's not much of an age difference.
No,
so.
there isn't. There isn't in some cases, but we conform sometimes at early ages. We conform to different types of, you know, subcultures and things like that. That's kind of what I was talking about.
I'll take the healthy lifestyle culture. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that would be it. Well, I appreciate you coming on again.
Pleasure.
I think that you know, you're such a strong person, and I think a lot of women out there identify with you. So hopefully, I'm going to have her on probably every couple months just to update us on her progression, and then also update us on anything, you know, and if anything new comes up, or any other, you know, you see some kind of a trend that you know, people are on, please let me know. And I got a message on BEAU'D Not Broken on the Facebook page from a friend of Traci's, and she kind of prompted, she goes, have you seen her? Have you seen what she looks like lately? You need to have her back on. And of course, you know,
yeah, all the way from Canada.
All the way from Canada. Yeah, you should have her back on, and you know, you're always welcome, and always appreciate what you've done. I mean, you've been a part of saving people's lives. So so spell your name out totally, and then any other websites or anything that people might want if they want to get a hold of you.
It's just Traci Brundage on Facebook.
It's Traci,
and then Brundage.
Okay.
And I'll get you whatever you need. I'm full of resources. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, definitely. She's very approachable, and you know,
nothing scares me. You can come to me with pictures or anything. I don't get grossed out. Nothing.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, thanks again for being on, and thanks for everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be with you again tomorrow with another show. This is the Daily Ben on the BEAU'D Not Broken Network, and we're here at Murray Park. It is one beautiful day today. We've just been trying to escape the mowers and the trimmers, to bring you a show today, but I think this was something we needed to do. We needed to do a follow-up with Traci. So remember, it's all about the Bend, and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.